The women of gymnastics have come from the ranch to Chaffetz Arena in St. Louis, Missouri to find out who this year's national champion is. If it's Simone Biles, it would be 4 in a row, and that has never happened before. Gabby Douglas looks to be a returning Olympian as the all-around gold medalist. That hasn't happened since Nadia. Her teammate, Ali Raisman, parlayed the Olympics into Dancing with the Stars, and she wants the Olympics again. Maggie Nichols returns to competition after a couple of knee surgeries, and she's trying to smile her way into the Olympic picture at this late date as well. And then there's Lori Hernandez. She's got that special something in Marta's eyes. And little Reagan Smith has her own big hopes. The road to Rio continues in St. Louis. Get the gold medals ready. NBC Sports presents the 2016 P&G Gymnastics Championships. Hero Saarinen gorgeous Gateway Arch, and not far from the majestic Mississippi River is St. Louis University, and we're in Chaffetz Arena for 2 nights of competition, tonight and Sunday, which will determine the 2016 national champion. Hi, everybody. Al Trautwig, along with my favorite gold medalists, Tim Daggett and Nastya Lukin. Andrea Joyce is with us, too. A lot of talk about the ranch, obviously, before we came on the air here. What are your best memories of that place?
Well, of course, it was all about gymnastics, but there was definitely a lot of time for building that bond as a team. And I remember, oh goodness, sleeping in the bunk beds and watching movies together, and obviously a lot of hard trainings. But, you know, it was really what made the team a team. And I think you see that when they're out there on the floor. Now they're cheering for each other, and there really is that bond.
All right, let's talk about the event now, Tim. Simone Biles comes in. She's been dominant since the London Olympics. Can she keep it going? It's all we've been asking, and so far she's been doing that.
Yeah, can she keep it going? Absolutely. Not just in this field, but in the international field. She's the most dominant female athlete in the world today. She just doesn't lose. She's unbelievable. She can do what you said, become 4 times in a row national all-around champion. Never been done before. It'll happen.
We'll see lots of shots of Marta Caroli and the selection committee. They're looking at everything, but what do you think they look specifically for?
Well, absolutely consistency. You know, they want them to go out there and perform under pressure. And again, not the pressure of the national championships, but can they handle the pressure at the Olympic Games in a situation in a team finals where 3 gymnasts have to go up and all 3 scores have to count. So there is no room for error.
All right, we've talked about Gabby Douglas and Ali Raisman, but look at the depth the United States team has. These are women that have all competed at the World Championship level representing the United States. Bauman, Biles, Douglas, Dowell, Koshin, Locklear, Nichols, Raisman, Skinner. It's a very tall order here. There's going to be some disappointment. There's no question. Remember, 5 women will be selected for Team USA to go to Rio. And we begin with Brenna Dowell. This is a home game for her. She lives in Odessa, Missouri, which is west of here on I-70, just outside of Kansas City.
And she accomplished one of her lifelong dreams, competed at the 2015 World Championships, and in addition to that, got a skill named after herself. It happens here on floor exercise in her first pass. You get that honor when you're the first person to do it in a major international competition. Here it is. And she flip-flopped the order on me there.
So she'll actually do it in her second tumbling pass, which is coming up right here. I saw her do a double front in a tuck position, and she's actually going to do it in a pike position right here.
Some steps on those landings, but a pretty good start for Brenna Dow. She would wanted it to have been a little bit better, though.
We turn our attention to Simone Biles, who is so consistent. It's so remarkable, and she's been doing it almost unchallenged. She's a three-time world all-around champion. She's won more world medals than anybody in history. Nastia, do you consider her the greatest of all time, or do you need to see her do it in the Olympics?
No, I mean, I absolutely do consider her the greatest of all time. I mean, obviously the Olympic Games and an Olympic gold medal will be the cherry on top, but what she does year after year, not only is she staying consistent and staying on top, but she's actually getting better every year, which is extremely difficult to do in a sport like this.
She'll do some very unique things here.
It's very tricky. She has great control on that. Major right here. Front summy with a half twist. That's relatively new for Simone. Another pass right here. Beautiful. So she's the reigning world champion on balance beam, also on floor exercise, obviously the all-around, the team, and believe it or not, she could grab an additional one. She could come away from Rio with 5 Olympic gold medals. Huge dismount right here. 2 skills into a full in back out. Jeez. Oh my goodness. You know, the gymnastics is so hard at the elite level. And for balance beam, you just never know. But this young lady, she just doesn't make mistakes.
Marta Karolyi was definitely pleased with that beam routine. And she starts her routine, as Tim was saying, with a 2.5 turn on one leg, which she makes it look very easy, but it's actually very difficult.
Try that in your living room.
Front flip with a half turn. You see her look at the beam almost the entire way. And she spots that.
And here is her dismount. 2 acrobatic skills. She'll do a double back flip, but she adds a full twist, which makes it infinitely more difficult. Lands with her chest up, the slide backwards, but wow, she is incredible.
What do you feel like you need to do?
Obviously, we'll get her score. It takes a little time. And we go to Lori Hernandez on floor. This is a spot where you guys have told me she can play a role on this team.
Absolutely, and you know, she's doing a new floor exercise routine. She's so bubbly, so energetic. She says she's portraying different characters. She says, I'm like a little actress out there. And you're not going to believe how great she can tumble, but watch the choreography and the dance.
music is made for Rio.
It really is, and you know, we got to talk to Lori earlier this week, and she said that, you know, as Tim said, she's portraying all of these characters, and we're asking how she's able to kind of, you know, hold up to the pressure and the expectation and the attention. She goes, you know, I like it. No, actually, I love it.
Oh my gosh! And that's her coach, Maggie Haney, right there. So this is her double back dismount, just a little slide back. But this is a fabulous start for Lori Hernandez. And it's all about, hey, Marta, did you see that?
When Marta says wow, it's a real wow. That was really something. We can give you a few scores. Brenda Dowell got a 14.15, and as Tim said, she probably would want to do better than that. Look at Simone Biles, 15.7.
Come on, Maddie, you got
Now,
it.
the green triangle is just to help people figure out, because in a lot of cases it's about the deductions. And if you keep those to a minimum, you're in good shape. And if you start letting them pile up, you get a yellow score. And if you really get deducted, it's a red. Here's a two-time world champion as a member of the United States team, Madison Koshin.
And she's coming back from an injury, so she'll only be doing a full twisting Yurchenko tonight here. But talking to her coaches, she'll be doing the upgraded double twist at the Olympic trials in 2 weeks.
Nice and clean. A good landing, but it's not going to bring in that big score. The maximum score that she can get for this vault is a 15.0. We'll see some other gymnasts that'll be starting in the 15.8 or even 16.3 range.
Well, her big event is coming up on the uneven bars, right?
It is, absolutely. She's the world champion on uneven bars right now. She won it in 2015, tied with 3 other gymnasts.
But just about as good as Madison can do on this vault. As you said, you know, we talked about it's an easier vault, but her big event is coming up next.
Now on floor exercise for kids sport, Lexi Rambler.
Lori Hernandez gets a 14.7.
Yeah, that's I don't quite understand that. I thought it was executed a little bit better than that.
Boy, that's just from a visual standpoint, it just, oh well. So there you see Madison Koshin with a start value of only 15 gets a 13.8. So the deductions were okay. She just didn't have the start value. We go to Ashton Locklear on the beam.
And just like Madison Koshin, Ashton is extremely great on the uneven bars, which we'll see later today. And she actually is only competing 2 events, so she'll do the uneven bars and the balance beam right here.
And she told us she thinks that balance beam is just as important for her Olympic selection as uneven bars. I don't agree with that. I think that she'll make the team predominantly because she is so great on bars. But she's really wanting to get a strong routine to show that she can, if need be, fill in somewhere.
You know, she's proved that she is very consistent on the uneven bars, but she actually told us that, you know, she really thinks she's lacking a little bit on that consistency on this event right here. So she wants to prove to Marta that she can hit when it counts.
She admitted to us that she was actually more nervous here than she was at the qualifying meet for this, the Secret Classic. And she says she really needs to calm down a little bit and was going to be working on that. Pretty clean routine so far. Just that little problem at the end there.
Just the dismount left right here.
It's a nice job.
You know, she definitely won't be using the team final on this event, but for her to be able to get through that routine makes her happy for sure.
That is her coach, Kwai Han.
Gabby Douglas, World Championship after a gold medal in London.
Here she goes. This will be a double twist. Very clean. A good start for Gabby. She can land that a little bit better, and typically does. But certainly very strong effort right out of the blocks. One of the things she does so well is her form is really good in the air. Nice extension. Look at the knees are locked. They're pasted together. The only problem, she kind of scoots her feet underneath herself a little bit too much. Has to take possibly a 3/10 hop backwards. So funny. We were talking to Gabby before the competition began, and she goes, wasn't it just 2012? It feels like it was yesterday.
She's right.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, that lady right there, Marta Karolyi, she is going to choose the team that is the best at that time, and titles and past accomplishments don't mean anything to her.
Locklear gets a 14.45, and Gabby Douglas gets a 14.8 on the vault. Close starting score. Deductions were good. There's Locklear's total. We're just getting started here in St. Louis, MO. By Olay, Ageless. By AT&T, mobilizing your world, and by P&G, proud sponsor of Moms. Al Trowie, Tim Daggett, Nastia Luke, and Andrea Joyce. And we're going to continue here on the balance beam for Allie Raceman.
You know, we keep talking about how important it is to impress the selection committee, but mostly Marta Karolyi. And, you know, Marta has told me in the past that this young lady, Allie Raceman, is an example of a hard-working gymnast. She's dedicated, disciplined, and she sets an example for the whole team. That's a pretty good recommendation when it comes from the chief.
She lost an Olympic medal in the harshest way that I've ever seen in our years together. She finished in a tie for the bronze medal, and then they went to a tiebreaker. And she lost it.
And that's one of the major reasons she's back here. She thought it was so wrong. It was in the all-around. Aliyah Mustafina from Russia ended up taking that bronze. Very nice. She told us she's been working on that, really trying to make sure she gets credit for that layout, shows a good rebound on it.
Not just working on that skill, but just so many routines. I talked to her the week before she left for the competition, and she says, I've just done so many numbers now. It's all about muscle memory here.
It's funny, the music is for floor exercise, but it's matching up to this routine pretty nicely.
She told me that she works like she had no success in London at all. She says that keeps her focused. Big dismount right here. It's an Arabian double front.
One we've ever seen from Allie Raceman.
I have never seen her do that better. That is so hard to stick. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. Carly Patterson did this in the Olympics where she was all-around champion. But this is so hard because it's a blind landing, and there puts her feet down, 0 deductions on the landing, and a giant exclamation mark.
Good job.
How many little tiny young gymnasts are in this building now, sitting there in their chair with mom and dad maybe going, are you kidding?
Yeah, that was pretty darn good.
All right, here's Maggie Nichols. And Maggie was second at last year's U.S. Championships, and she's had her share of injuries. It's one knee that's bandaged, and then if you look carefully there, those are a couple of arthroscopic incisions on the other knee.
Yeah, she had that one in 2014. Major surgery from that was a turning point for her, she says. And just recently this year, before the Pacific Rim Championships at the Caroli Ranch, she injured that other leg, needed meniscus surgery on it to repair it.
Now she's a little bit taller than some of the other gymnasts, so it really gives her a beautiful line, especially on the uneven bars. A little short on that handstand.
Another release right here. Just the dismount. Nice double layout.
Welcome back, Maggie. So there are 4 competition days left. There's today, there's Sunday, then there's 2 weeks in San Jose. Is that enough time?
You know, I really think it's enough time for Maggie. This week we watched her in training, and although she'll only be doing the uneven bars, look at this beautiful dismount. She does a double layout, and you want to look for the extension all the way up until she lands. Little bit of a leg separation, finds the ground, sticks it. Beautiful. As I was saying, we watched her, and she actually trained on the floor, and she trained on vault, and in our opinion, she looked great. You know, she's not quite ready to compete here this week, but I absolutely know she will be ready in 2 weeks.
Allie Raisman gets a 15.15 on the balance beam. We'll get the number on Maggie Nichols, but as you can see, the women are on the move. That's the end of the first rotation here in St. Louis at the 2016 P&G Gymnastics Championships. Well, ho-hum, Simone Biles has a lead, and after one rotation to be up by 55/100ths of a point is unbelievable. But that's what reality is. Allie Raisman there and Gabby Douglas, the veterans, as the story of the 2016 P&G Gymnastics Championships plays out. And again, a national champion crowned on Sunday night, but this is part of the Olympic process. The Olympic trials in a couple of weeks, and the key event is the team final. And in those, on the 4 apparatus, you put up 3 gymnasts, and all 3 of those scores count. So you got to really make sure as best as you possibly can. So Tim, explain how this team of 5 for Rio might be constructed.
Well, it'll be built primarily upon the shoulders of Simone Biles. How could you leave her off? She's the best gymnast that ever was. And the reigning Olympic all-around champion, the runner-up last year at Worlds, Gabby Douglas. Can't leave her off either.
And someone else, in my opinion, that you can't leave off is Allie Raisman, especially after that beam routine. It was a solid start for her. But she has proved that she is such a key player for the team because she's so consistent and so reliable. And then, of course, you see you need a little help on the uneven bars, and that's where Team USA struggles a little bit. So, you know, it's either going to be between Madison Koshin or Ashton Locklear. They're both great on the uneven bars. Haven't seen them yet, but we will soon.
And who else might be in play?
Well, yeah, you see a lot of question marks there. That's a lot of spots to fill. Alyssa Bauman and Reagan Smith, they can help tremendously on the balance beam. And Lori Hernandez and Maggie Nichols, they're in the hunt as well. But wait a minute, don't forget about Michaela Skinner. She can add close to a half a point to the team total on one event alone on vaulting.
Okay, Tim, why don't you guys have Simone Biles on all 4 events?
Well, you know, she is great, and she's capable of doing the uneven bars. She's been a world finalist on bars. It's just they could get somebody who could give them a few more tenths.
Well, a lot of decisions to be made, but over the years that she's been in charge of things, Marta's done a great job of making the right decisions. The second rotation, live from St. Louis, coming up. Back live in St. Louis, we've had some surprisingly low scores here tonight. Maggie Nichols, for example, 14.6, and then you had the very low score for this woman, Lori Hernandez, who was dazzling on the floor. But she's in 3rd place after the first rotation.
And you know, she helps the team in a lot of spots on floor exercise, potentially on the uneven bars, but she's really good everywhere. So she could fill in a number of areas. But talk about reality. Her coach told me that she's either going to be 4th or 5th on the team, or 1st or 2nd out. That was great. That was great.
So she does a Yurchenko double full. A little bit less difficulty than we'll see from Simone Biles later. But look at her body position, stretched out all the way, almost a stick, just a slight little hop.
But a really good bounce, rebound off of the vaulting table. Just shot her up in the air.
Now here's Alyssa Baumann. You guys have her penciled in as maybe a contributor on beam or floor. So when you go up to an apparatus that you are not a major player in, what are you trying to get done here?
Well, you can still earn a lot of points, and you can do that by showing that you're consistent, and it's another opportunity to prove that you can hit under pressure. A little bit over. Everything has to go to a handstand on uneven bars. Right there, you saw a little shy, and oh boy.
Now, that was such a simple skill out of that routine.
Okay, so now, does this mistake on an apparatus that may not be considered something she would contribute, does this hurt her for the ones that she is?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's harsh.
I mean, certainly, if she were to fall on beam, that would be the worst case scenario for her. But Marta is looking for tough competitors, people that can handle any situation and never fold. And the irony, like Nastia says, way short on that pirouette, is it was probably the easiest element in the routine she fell on.
Busy night for Marta. She's looking all over the room. All right, so is this score for Laurie Hernandez on the low side at 15.05?
No, that's actually pretty good. You know, I mean, it's only 7.5 tenths off. I mean, at the World Championships, the best double folds were about that level, the absolute best in the world. So.
Okay, back to Simone Biles, the leader, waiting for the green flag, and she does some awesome stuff in her floor exercise routine.
She's got a move named after herself. It'll be in her second pass. She does passes late in the routine that many guys can't do in their opening tumbling run. She is a phenom here.
There's that tumbling pass coming up called the Biles. Well, it doesn't really get much better than that.
They call that untouchable. And the selection committee, all three of them, their cheeks are sore right now. They were smiling through the entire thing.
41 days to go, kid. You're almost there.
Wow.
I forgot my dance. No, you were fine. I saw it for a second, but most people wouldn't know.
And here's that Biles. So she does a double layout, and at the very end you see her do a half turn. So watch right here, 1 flip, 2 flip, and then a half turn makes it a blind landing. Perfect.
Just unbelievable power. She has done so much already, and look at the height she gets on this. Full twisting double back somersault. Many gymnasts can't do that in their first tumbling run. Yikes.
That is just...
And there's the entire selection committee. Wow.
The look on Marta's face was almost, she's on my team.
It's like unfair.
Cap, coaching. Yep.
Come on, Meals.
Okay, now, Regan Smith.
And you know, she started on floor exercise where she had a very uncharacteristic fall. Actually didn't fall, she just couldn't complete something. Scored only a 13.1. And it was good, you know, not going to get the huge score. You see her coaches, Chris Burdett and Kim Zemeskal. Burdett, Kim, of course, has won 3 national titles as well, a world champion in the all-round. But remember, for this young lady right here, where it counts most is when she goes to the balance beam. That is where she will do her best to impress that selection committee and where she can impact the team score most.
And now let's go back to Simone Biles. Where did they take 8-10?
I have no idea. I have no idea, but a 16-1, that you can't even imagine how hard it is to get a 15-5 on floor exercise, not to mention being in the 16s.
Okay, this next performance is pretty crucial for Madison Koshin because according to the plan that you guys have, if she's a player here.
Absolutely, this is actually her best event. Of course, the current world champion has the highest starting value out of anybody on the uneven bars.
What is it that makes it so good, Nastia?
Well, a lot of things. You know, she kind of floats from one bar to the other, her releases, her form. And then, of course, it's very difficult, but she makes it look easy. So it's really a combination of it all.
It's light and it's airy, and she flies so high, and does these great transitions in connection from low bar to high bar.
Now, Tim, you were telling me that there might be 11 women in this room who think they're good enough to make the Rio Olympic team in one form or another. That means that when the meet in San Jose ends, we're going to have some serious tension.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, this young lady right here, she's the reigning world champion, as Nastia just said, on the uneven bars. But there's another girl, Ashton, who is just incredible as well. Either one of them could be left off, and if they're left off, they could easily have gone to the Olympic Games and not won just a medal, but a gold one. That's crazy. Remember, we saw Alyssa Bauman on the uneven bars. She is a teammate, trains alongside Madison at WAG.
This first connection right here is very crucial. And she missed that.
She did. Supposed to go right into this element right there. Beautiful right here. Look at this. Oh, I love it. Another release. Sky high. And way over on that pirouette.
Recovers very nicely and dismount. Beautiful. So that first connection that she missed that we talked about, it wasn't a disaster by any means. She'll lose a few tenths of bonus, but that's what she's really been working on.
And you know what it comes down to, though, is for her to make the Olympic team with someone like Ashton Lockwood, she can't be really, really good. She's got to be phenomenal. And that opens the door.
Regan Smith, 14.65, start value 15.8. And we will see Gabby Douglas on the uneven bars, a spot where she could really help Team USA in Rio. PNG Gymnastics Championships continue after this from St. Louis. Works of NBC Universal, we can't wait. Madison Koshin, in spite of the things that you guys pointed out, she did okay.
Absolutely.
15.45.
That's how good she is.
Could have been even higher had she had that little connection.
And now Gabby Douglas on an apparatus that could be very important for her.
Without a doubt. And, you know, Gabby told me that the most important thing for her is always trust myself, trust everything that I've done in training, and then just let it happen. Release right here. Oh boy, she did not connect that. So I'm a little confused here. This is really tricky. Nice transition. Pretty sure she left out one of her major skills. Only did one to Kachev.
Yeah, she just kind of seemed off right from the beginning. Missing that first connection.
I think that she just got a little bit lost and a little bit flustered. She's supposed to do a release and then do the release into connection down to the low bar.
Graceful on the floor, and this is where she can really do her thing. Her music is always spot on. There's always a spot in her music that reflects her heritage.
Not to mention the reigning Olympic gold medalist on this event right here.
And she jokes with us and says, you know, I am, like Nastia said, the Olympic champ on floor. My routine is way harder, and I still can't catch Simone. That's how great Simone is. But this is a phenomenal routine. If she pulls it off, makes it to Rio, this is medal worthy without any question of a doubt.
Watch this pass right here. Difficult tumbling pass right here, double layout. Watch the height that she gets.
Beam was awesome, and that was spectacular. What a start for Allie Raceman.
Some of Marta Caroli's decisions should be easy.
Absolutely.
But that opening tumbling pass that she does, you know, we watch her do it in training every single day, and it just doesn't, it's impressive all the time. Look how many skills she fits into one tumbling pass. And it doesn't stop there. I mean, that is so difficult.
And the height on this. Watch her hips, how they rise up instantly off the floor. Hips up over her head. She's rising still. Wow.
Well, this crowd is really getting treated to some fantastic gymnastics.
Nice job, Allie.
And we go back to Gabby Douglas. She's zoned out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm very confused because I could have missed something, but I thought she left a major release out.
Okay, back to Maggie Nichols.
She said her knee is 100% at this point in time, and she'll be 100% ready to compete on all 4 events, only doing bars and beam. I think she tapped the beam there halfway through, which she is not allowed to do.
I got to talk to Maggie earlier this week, and she told me that coming back from an injury always brings that fire inside of me, making me want to achieve my dreams even more than before. And we saw it from her already. She came back stronger and better than ever.
I hope the surgeons who performed the procedures are watching.
Just seems a little nervous, a little tentative on every skill.
A lot of people, when they heard that Maggie had hurt her knee at the ranch, a lot of folks were saying there's no way she's not going to have time. Unbelievable pressure and stress. She said one of her coaches, Mike Hunger, really kept her happy. And a nice finish right there. The biggest question, though, for me is, does she touch the beam on that turn on one leg? We saw Simone do it as well. It's called a wolf turn. Let's see if that hand comes down and makes contact with the beam.
Nope, doesn't quite look like it.
I don't think so. It's going to be a deduction.
But live, it looked like it.
Yeah.
But this dismount, double pike, so not as difficult as Simone, but has great height. And you want to look at her chest on the landing. Very good.
So explain this to me. Now, the judges sit below the apparatus. They don't have replay. I thought she touched for sure. So live, maybe they did too. Should there be replay?
Well, there is actually replay, believe it or not. At the Olympic Games, there will be a panel that's judging right at the equipment, and then there will be a group of judges that sit up above, and if they think that she touched and the score doesn't reflect it, they'll review it, and they'll change the score.
Yeah, she stayed on both of them. Yes, Maggie.
Maggie Nichols gets a 13.9, so maybe they think she touched.
2 full points off in execution.
Meanwhile, that woman, Allie Raceman, really rocked it. 15.6 on floor exercise, only 1 point of deductions. We'll determine a national champion this weekend in St. Louis. Jim Parsons, the Avid brothers, and NFL star J.J. Watt. It's The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, all new tonight on NBC. Simone Biles has a very comfortable lead. It was 0.55 after the first rotation. Now it's up to 0.85 after the second rotation, which brings us to the halfway point of night 1. She's looking to win this event for a 4th year in a row, and it's never happened before. Everyone assembling for the 3rd rotation. Al Trowig, Tim Daggett, Nastia Lukin, and Andrea Joyce, who has a familiar face to talk to. Andrea?
That's right, Al. 2012 Olympic gold medalist Kyla Ross, who competed in 7 consecutive national championships. First big event you're attending since you announced your retirement in February. Be honest, how weird was it to pack for a trip and not have to pack any leotards?
It definitely was a big change being able to come out here and not having to pack leotards and be ready for this competition. But I'm really excited to be here and to support all my friends. I've missed them so much. I miss everyone here, so I'm really happy to be here.
So you were the youngest member of the Fierce Five, only 15 years old in London. As you look at the youngsters out here, Reagan Smith and Lauren Hernandez, give us an idea of what they're going through. What is this like for them?
Yes, switching from junior to senior elite is definitely a big change, and I know being able to come out Olympic year is kind of a shock, but I think it is really the moment where you do prove yourself. I know you have only a limited amount of chances, but you really just got to go out.
Are they nervous?
I mean, there's definitely nerves, but I think the harder you train, the more consistent you are. You just got to rely on your past training.
All right, we know that you are headed to UCLA. You're going to compete there. You'll be reunited with your former teammate, Jordan Weber, who's a volunteer coach there. How excited are you for that next chapter?
I'm super excited to be with Jordan. We're really good friends, so to be able to have her there, to have her mentoring and coaching me will be a really fun experience.
All right, good luck. Thanks.
Thank you.
Al?
Okay, Andrea, women's team, but no men's team.
Yes, that's right. It was dropped. That hurts.
Yeah. Well, she was elegant. She really was.
Oh, she was so beautiful. One of my absolute favorites to watch. Just had that beautiful elegance in line to her gymnastics.
Very successful, too. You know, she came back after the Olympic Games, and she said she wanted some individual glory as well, and was a silver medalist in the all-around, and then a bronze medalist as individual apparatus medals as well. Tremendous career.
Okay, so what does the spin routine mean for Madison Kosher?
Well, this is really important. Obviously, her strength is the uneven bars, but she needs to prove to Martin, the selection committee, that she can go up in the qualification round, possibly, and hit a good beam routine.
And her biggest test comes right off the top, right here. It's called an Arabian. Perfect. A little bit tentative there. And Madison has really battled injury after injury. Marta told me she's a little bit fragile. We just need to be very careful with her. She fractured a tibia in March of this year. Only began walking 9 weeks ago.
Just the dismount left. Well, that was a good routine. You know, just a few weeks ago at the Secret Classic, she fell off the balance beam, but reclaimed herself here, and she will be happy with that.
So watch this here. She starts flipping backwards, does a half twist, and all of a sudden, it's a front flip. Very difficult, a lot to get done. And look at how far off to the side that left foot was.
When we watched it the first time, you really couldn't tell. And here's that dismount. She does a round off to a double pike. You want to look for her shoulders, so just a tad bit low, but pretty good.
Well, you guys are not allowed to say that's very difficult anymore, because just getting on the apparatus is a miracle. So,
but you know, everybody makes it look so easy, so you don't really realize how difficult some of these skills are.
Yeah, you know, in talking with Simone Biles a little while ago, she said that to me. She said, you know, we make it look easy, but we do it 1,000 times. That's why it looks easy.
okay, so let's say a vault is 5 seconds. That means in this entire weekend with 2 vaults, 10 seconds is pretty important. 10 seconds for Michaela Skinner.
This is where she can contribute most to Team USA. She is one of 3 gymnasts here performing this skill. It's called an Aminar. The same one you'll see from Simone Biles and Allie Raceman. Very difficult. Sorry I said difficult again, but If you think that's not. And this was a very good vault, but she had a little bit of a problem on the landing. You know, really, what you have to do is you have to get yourself prepared to land. It's actually in the code. Prepare to land before you hit the ground, and she's kind of pulling that all the way to the very end. She takes that step. That'll be a 3/10 step, and she goes over the line, which is another deduction.
Nastia, I know the answer, but explain the second vault again.
So if she were to make the Olympic team in the qualification round, she would do the 2 vaults in order to make it into the Olympic vault final. In there, she would also have to do 2 different vaults from basically what they call 2 different families. So you'll see 2 different entries. Getting a little confusing here. But in order to win, or in hopes of winning an Olympic vault medal.
Just to clean things up, Madison Koshin gets a 14.4.
Yeah, you know, that really wasn't as great as we saw her do it just a couple of weeks ago in Hartford at the Secret Classic. It was all good in the air. It's just, like I said, not quite ready for the ground.
Pretty good.
And you see that 1.1 off in deductions. We've seen gymnasts get much less than that. This score does not count in the all-around ranking at all. It's only to determine the national championship on vault, which is up for grabs. And that was pretty darn good. In my opinion, I don't know why they're not doing it. That is a better vault than her vault she starts off with. You know, she's gotten criticized that she only hits with 2 hands for just a brief second, but that's crazy. That's a better vault. That's what she should be doing first off.
Meanwhile, Andrea Joyce is absolutely thrilled. She's found someone shorter than she is. Andrea?
Ooh, that was mean, Al. You know, when you watch Reagan Smith, you have to remember that she is just 15. Her coach, Kim Zemeskel, knows that there's a delicate balance here. That's why she is always trying to come up with age-appropriate motivational tools. Say hello to the perler beads. They sell them by the tub. And basically, Reagan gets 2 for a stuck landing. She can earn up to 5 for a clean routine. But if she pouts or cries or is not a good teammate, she has to give 2 to each of her teammates. And as you can imagine, she has plenty for a very long necklace. And Al, you got to give props to Kim Zemeskel sprinkling in those life lessons with all that gymnastics.
So she is shorter than this low bar. She's standing on the board, and she still doesn't really need to bend over. And when you are this short, really the biggest challenge is getting from the high bar to the low bar, and really then getting from the low bar back up to the high bar. That was beautiful, though. Now she'll transition over to that high bar. She's got to really work on that, where other gymnasts can kind of just relax.
Wow, she really launches off on that dismount.
Let go a little early on it, though, so it kind of flew out a little bit farther than she probably wants it to. So talking about her height, look at that. She does tip her head down, but she's standing on a board that's about, at that point, it's about 6 inches off the ground. Though she be little, she is fierce, I'll tell you.
I like that system Kim Zemeskel came up with.
I'm going to start bringing some beads for you.
Now let's see if Allie Raceman can keep her great night going.
This is an important test for her as well. She's going to be doing the 2.5 twisting Yurchenko that we just saw Michaela Skinner do. Simone Biles will do as well.
This has improved for her over the last 5 months or so. And very good.
You know, it looked like she stepped out of the lines, which will cost her, but showed a lot of control in that vault landing. And Tim, as you said, she's really been trying to improve because she knows that the team can use her in the team finals on this event.
At the World Championships, she faltered, was really out of control on the landing. She's had problems this year in international competitions, but she's been great so far. At the Secret, it was excellent. So what makes it so hard? She does another half turn at the end. And the big step, you see, that's more than shoulder width apart. So that's 3/10 of a point and an additional deduction for going out of bounds. That was good, but it was better in Hartford a couple of weeks ago.
Reagan Smith, deduction's a little on the high side, so she gets a 14.8. Let's see what Gabby Douglas has for us right now. Third place after the second rotation.
So I asked her before the meet began, do you wish it was right now? Do you wish the Olympics was here? And she says, oh, God, you know, physically, I'm ready. I know that. But mentally, I just need a little bit more time. Very nice.
Very difficult skill right here. Full twisting. Back tuck.
Nicely done. Just looking a little bit tentative on beam today.
Just the dismount, so she'll do 2 back handsprings into a double pike.
And I think I heard the bell, so she's got to get going.
Definitely not her best routine that we've seen her do, but she stayed on and managed to get through.
You know, it's funny, you're on that 4-inch wide beam. There's her coach, Kitty Carpenter, at the Buckeyes in Ohio. You're on that 4-inch wide beam, and if you are not completely aggressive, it just shows up so quickly.
And here's that full twisting back tuck. Look at, she's eyeing the beam. Just a little bit of a bobble, but not a big deal.
So this is a relatively easy skill. A full turn, it's required in the beam routine. Much harder because she holds her legs up. Oh, look at that. So off. If she had bent down and touched the beam, would have been a huge deduction. It's all about, she really, I'm not exactly sure. It looked like she just didn't get up high enough on her.
Yeah, and here's that dismount. So you see she does 2 back handsprings immediately into the dismount, which makes it that much harder. Double pike, and you want to look for her chest a little bit low, but just to get it up pretty quickly.
A little bit here and a little bit there. We'll see how it goes. Meanwhile, Allie Raceman, 15.35. She is having a night in St. Louis. Unfortunately, she's in the same meet with Simone Biles.
Yeah. And, Allie joked with us at one point and said, when we go to competitions or when we have them at the ranch, it's like whoever gets second is the winner. Because we all know that this one right here, she's going to come out on top. This is gigantic. Oh my God. Oh, my. It's like she is shot out of a cannon after she hits the table. Oh, Coach Amy Borman, who has been her coach since the beginning, with her every step of the way. But watch how her body rises after she hits the table. It just goes up. It's going up still. Many of the guys don't fly that high, folks. She has excellent technique, gets her arms back very quickly, and just soars. Look at how she, as I said, prepares for the landing before she lands.
How about a 16.0?
Wow.
Gabby Douglas takes a hit on the beam, 14.2.
Yeah, lots of deductions there. At 2.1, as you see. Here is her second vault. She'll do the same one we saw Michaela Skinner do. Half on. That's the best I've seen her do it. Right there. So she had 4 gold medals at the last World Championships. She can copy and paste that vaulting scenario into event finals at the Olympic Games. She comes home with 5.
Yeah. Perfect. Hey, we did it. Yeah. Events. Yeah, baby.
No one does it quite like this. She's got a big lead on night 1 here in St. Louis. Back after this on NBCSN. You're looking at Lori Hernandez live here in Chaffetz Arena in St. Louis, Missouri, on the campus of St. Louis University. Al Troutwig, Tim Daggett, Nastia Lukin, Andrea Joyce. And if tell me to get over it, but I still can't get over her floor score.
Yeah, it was very strict, that's for sure. And it's funny, she was over chalking, and then she went back to her bag.
It looked like she grabbed a few extra rubber bands for some of the gymnasts, use them on their grips to kind of keep the finger holes in or the buckles.
And this is a place where she can contribute to Team USA without question. She's much improved on uneven bars. Does a whole bunch of release skills that are in what we call a Tkachev, named after a great Soviet gymnast. She does a bunch of variations on that.
Start.
There's one of them. Another one right here. And one more. Transition.
Beautiful.
Nicely done. Right, rock solid to that handstand. Little short there, though. Big time.
Nastia, we have some concerned citizens here. They want to know why we as a country always seem challenged on the uneven bars.
I'm really not sure.
That was great.
He's into it.
That was really great. I mean, remember, she's a first-year senior. Watch, she'll go right into this beautiful reverse hecht or Tkachev. Now she'll do this one from a Stalter, that straddle element, and her legs are together. She's allowed to do a third one because this time it'll be different. She'll keep her legs apart. Watch right there. They're apart and we call straddled. She transitions down to the low bar.
Is this the best uneven bars that we've seen tonight?
No, it's not. Madison Koshin's certainly was a little bit better, but this is a very strong.
This was a great one for her, and you see she lands with, or finishes with, a full twisting double back. Sticks that landing.
Gymnastics 101, baby. Fly high and stick the landing.
I've never heard that before. Melissa Bauman on the beam.
And this is exactly where she could potentially help the team, the balance beam.
Really have to wonder what her mental state is like. Remember, she had that really rough go on the uneven bars. Here's that same skill that we saw from Madison Koshin. And that right foot, that time, that looked like it was almost completely off the beam on the landing.
Beautiful.
Oh boy. A little bit off, awkward on the landing, and you swing your arms around. Those are deductions. Their dismount right here. Nice routine. She had some little errors in there, and she can do better than that, though. That's the problem. So watch this skill right here. This is an Arabian. Really difficult. Look at the right foot. See, it's like not on the beam. That left foot, it's like a talon. It could crack walnuts. It is holding on so tightly. Just look at the effort. It's like, look at those toes. They are squeezing. No way am I coming off the beam. That was a tremendous save.
And the dismount that she does is a double pike. We've seen it before from a round off. And once again, you want to look at the height and the chest on the landing and a little bit low. Didn't quite rise up quick enough.
And we are moving to the fourth and final rotation. I can tell you that Lori Hernandez got a 15.3. That's the second highest uneven bar score so far tonight. One last rotation to go in night one of 2 nights that will crown a national champion. If it's this woman, it would be a history maker. Swimming trials from Omaha featuring Olympic gold medalist Ryan Lochte and Dana Vollmer. And then the finals of the P&G Championships right here in St. Louis. Question, do they crown Simone Biles again? Well, how about this? After just 3 events, she leads by 1.5 points. That is absolute domination that we should be used to by now. Back to St. Louis and the P&G Gymnastics Championships after this. Back live in St. Louis, night one of our national championship. This is not the Olympic trials, but it is part of the Olympic process. In 2 weeks from now in San Jose, a 5-woman team will be announced. And you really have to fill out in all 4 apparatus where you think you can be the best. So Tim and Nastia, in a rare moment of agreement, crunched the numbers and came up with this as a possible scenario. Tim, take us through it.
No, absolutely. You got to take Simone Biles. Allie Raceman's going to be in there. And Gabby Douglas, obviously, as well. Uneven bar specialist, though, that is going to come down to between
Madison
Koshin and Ashton Locklear.
And this is what Madison Koshin did on the uneven bars, 15.45. Locklear's got to answer.
And, you know, for Madison, she scored 0.25 higher in the last meet at the Secret Classic. This young lady scored a staggering 15.85 a couple of weeks ago in Hartford. Said she had the least deductions she's ever had in a bar routine. All about handstands. That one, very nice. Her release, beautiful. She actually doesn't have as high of a maximum score as Madison, but I think she's going to come out on top here again.
Yeah, that was definitely a very clean routine, minus that little step on the landing. Hit all of her connections.
So very difficult when you scoot your feet in between your arms and you pirouette right directly to that handstand. That was picture perfect into that beautiful straddled front flip.
And again, the smallest mistake of the entire routine really was just on this dismount. She does a full twisting double back, same one we saw from Madison. Looking for that stick and a slight step.
But pretty darn clean.
And we'll see how the judges saw it. Meanwhile, Reagan Smith is on the beam. This could be her ticket.
This is a very important routine for Reagan.
So remember, we're talking about a team that has Simone Biles, Allie Raceman, Gabby Douglas that are pretty much locks. And remember, the routine we just saw from Gabby on beam, if she's consistently performing like that, that's a routine they're not going to want to have. So for the team finals, you need 3. And this is where she shines. Super difficult stuff here. Little bit off on that. Another big one right here. Oh, boy. And that's a lot of steps.
She's just seemed a little off all day, really, from the start.
Another step forward. You know, we sound so nitpicky. And that was very cautious. She wanted to put those 2 skills together. We sound so nitpicky, but it's exactly what the judges are doing.
And the selection committee.
Absolutely. Very difficult dismount. Done in combination like that. That was fabulous. If the entire routine was like that, it would be a staggering score, but it wasn't.
Kim's got such a nice way about her, with her.
Yep, and you know, Marta is pretty easy to read. You know, if you see her head shaking side to side, she's not happy. So here are the couple of little spots in the routine that really, the judges are going to be fierce on these. Nice, huge layout, but off to the side, she swings her arms, she bends her hips. And this one, very difficult. Back with a full twist, but let's see here. Chest down, a hop, a step, an adjustment.
Get her score. Meanwhile, I can tell you that Ashton Locklear has won the battle of the uneven bars with a 15.6. It's a pretty big difference to a 15.45. All right, Gabby Douglas now on the floor to end her night.
And you know, I misspoke earlier. I said she left out a release on bars. She didn't, but she has not looked as sharp as we've seen her look. Let's see if she can get back on track here. Got a new addition. Right here, she's going to do a double back with a full twist and then a back flip right out of it, right here. grown accustomed to seeing from Gabby Douglas a very solid finish to her competition. Great exercise for her. So Vanessa Ferrari, who was the all-around champion, I think in 2006, she did this first. Gabby is borrowing from it. It's an upgrade for her. The judges are going to look to see if they think she keeps moving well enough, and I think she definitely does. She connects that very difficult full twisting double to that back flip. A nice upgrade for Gabby.
That's a tough score for Reagan Smith to absorb, but she has no choice.
Yeah, that really was an opportunity, and you know, she's so cool typically, and she just looked a little bit cautious today.
And for Allie Raisman right here on this event, the uneven bars, she said, I don't have to be perfect on bars. I just need to make it through. She knows that the team will not be using her in the team finals on this event.
You know, and she made the all-around finals at the Olympic Games, where many people thought it would be Jordan Weber, and just narrowly missed that all-around medal. That was one of her major reasons. Whoa, that was close. Major reasons for coming back. She just is not as polished on bars.
But she'll take that one.
Marta, Tatiana Perovskaya, another member of that selection committee. Mihai Brestjan, Allie Raisman's longtime
She looks
coach.
exhausted.
Good meet, except in your play.
Gabby gets a 14.8. Okay. Still to come, we'll see Simone Biles, who's in first place after a third rotation. And it's a big lead here. This is night one in a two-night process to see if she can win her fourth straight national championship. Uneven bars is not Allie Raisman's best event. She gets a 14.15 and looks really tired. She's still breathing heavy.
You need to teach me. Oh my God.
Simone Biles, last routine of the night.
And this is not her best event, but she's still great here. Has a very good amount of difficulty in the routine, but what she does so well is she just eliminates deductions that many others get.
Some sort of a judging issue, and she's just waiting for the green flag, and so are we.
I think they're talking about where they're going to go to dinner tonight.
So again, the men's Olympic team will be announced live. The competition ends. We start a clock. Their selection committee goes into a room. Approximately 12 minutes later, they come out, make the announcement of the 5 men who will have 41 days to get ready for, or 40 days at that point, to get ready for their Olympics. The same thing will happen with the women in 2 weeks in San Jose. We'll start on Friday. There'll be a night just like this, except the leader won't mean anything. And then on Sunday night, the same thing will happen. The selection committee for the Rio Olympic team will go into a room. They'll crunch their numbers. Then they'll listen to Marta, and they'll announce the team.
Beautiful handstand. Tricky combinations here. She'll do 2 of them. This one into a release. Nicely done. Now she'll connect this release to that transition to the low bar. Beautiful flight. Only the dismount. And if it's Simone Biles, she's going to stick it.
Well, and when you say this isn't exactly her strongest event, I mean, she will probably score higher than some of the other gymnasts competing tonight.
Oh, absolutely. So she does this in combination as well. This toe on right to a handstand, and because she doesn't do an extra swing around the bar, a giant swing, she gets some bonus for that. But look at that, baby. Man, it's like a walk in the park. She is just in a league of her own, not just here in these United States, but all over the world.
Lori's had a great night so far, but this will be another important routine to show Marta that she can be reliable.
Yeah, and balance beam is kind of a litmus test because it is so incredibly stressful, and even the great ones can wobble. If she can put together a clean routine, boy, did she ever have a great first day of nationals as a senior.
So far, it doesn't seem like she's affected at all by any kind of pressure. Talked to her earlier this week, and she said that her training's been pretty stressful because she took some time off of her legs, but now she's healthy and back in the swing of things.
Wow, just the dismount, and what a phenomenal first nationals as a senior on the road to Rio. Wow.
You know, as someone who's just letting it wash over me and not looking at it like you guys, she makes an impression.
Absolutely. She is just so energetic. If you see her, everything is done. Leaping and dances.
It's over for Simone Biles, and she's smiling as she usually is. A nice 15.1. We'll take one last break and tell you whose stock is up and whose stock is down after this. Brought to you by P&G, proud sponsor of Moms. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by Olay, ageless. Lori Hernandez was just given a very nice 15.3 on the balance beam. And there's your leader, Simone Biles. After the first rotation, she was up by 0.55. And she'll take a big lead into Sunday night where she could win the 4th straight national title. And look at, she's in front by 2.45 in front of Ali Raisman and Lori Hernandez, who had a great night and is with Andrea Joyce.
Al, believe it or not, Lori turned 12 years old in this building competing at her first junior nationals 4 years ago. Did you ever imagine that you would return in such a big way and put yourself in contention for the Olympic team?
I mean, I think at the time I was so young, I didn't realize where I was at the moment. I was just kind of embracing all these big lights and this podium, and I didn't know what to expect. So coming back here 4 years later is pretty exciting, and it's nice, like, reminiscing on the events.
You debuted a new floor routine here. You're coming off a knee injury. What do you think that you showed Marta today?
I think I showed her that anything that's going on with me last minute, like, I can show up and I can compete and I can really help this team out no matter what's going on.
You told us that you like the spotlight just a little bit. How much fun was that out there tonight?
Oh, it was nice. I mean, this new floor routine, I really feel the music and I feel all the poses and everything that I'm doing. So being able to show it for the first time was really exciting. I was really feeling everything that was going on out there.
And how are you going to contain yourself for the second night of competition?
I'll have to remember to breathe.
All right, good luck. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Al?
Boy, there's a lot to like there.
Absolutely.
She's got a tremendous personality, and those women will be busy on Sunday night right about now. Okay, stock up, stock down. Let's start with the positive.
Absolutely. Without a doubt, Lori Hernandez, her stock didn't just go up, it went through the roof on 3 different events. Remember in the beginning, we had those question marks for the 3rd spot in the team finals. On 3 different events, she was 3rd. Unbelievable performance.
Who got your eye?
You know, I think Ashton Locklear went out there today and did exactly what she needed to do on the uneven bars. She edged out Madison Koshin a little bit. I wouldn't necessarily say Madison's stock went down. I think it stayed exactly where it was, but Ashton was very impressive tonight.
Who should be concerned?
Well, Reagan Smith, she didn't do herself any justice tonight, falling off the balance beam. And, you know, Gabby Douglas, she wasn't bad, certainly, but she could have impressed a lot more.
Now, it seemed to me that there was a little something missing from Gabby personally. She was just almost expressionless. Did that concern you at all?
Well, you know, she's kind of looked like that since London. You know, since she's been back on the competition floor, she's looked just very focused, very stoic, not smiling a lot, and that has worked for her thus far. She went to the World Championships after this big time off and was 2nd in the all-around. So she can do it and get the job done. And I don't think that there's anything to be that alarmed about, but I know she needs to be better, and she knows that as well.
But we wondered about Gabby and Allie coming back to the Olympics, and now it's pretty darn close to being believable.
It really is, and I think Allie did an amazing job today. She, in my opinion, right under Simone Biles, is quite a lock for the team right now.
All right, that's going to do it. Thank you for joining us. Plenty of pre-Olympic coverage to come, that's for sure. A busy weekend on NBC and NBCSN. Tomorrow night at 9 Eastern and Pacific, it's the conclusion of the men's Olympic trials where we will find out who will represent Team USA in Rio. Then on Sunday night, the 2016 national champion will be crowned at the P&G Championships. Coming up next, it's local news, and later tonight, it's The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon with guest Jim Parsons, the Avid brothers, and J.J. Watt. For Tim Daggett, Nasty Lukin, and Andrea Joyce, I'm Al Trawick. We'll see you back here in St. Louis tomorrow night.